You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. Go. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Go. Don't waste no time.
Welcome everyone to another episode of Go Time Dolphins. If you are new here, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. And if you've been there before, then leave a like on the comment, leave a like on the video, comment down below. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. As always, I am joined by Mr. Charlie Touche. Charlie, tell everyone what time it is.
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. Got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, and official affiliates of Fanatics, where you could be a fanatic of your favorite franchise. Kadeem, what's the word?
The word is, according to Michael, please fire Chris Greer. Shout out to Michael for jumping in the comments. It's, as always, it's greatly appreciated. He says, our team needs alpha dogs, big, mean, fast, smart dogs. No more tiny tots. And I guess you said, good day, guys. Good day, Michael. And I guess that is the perfect introduction to a... Would you say it's a crucial week, Charlie? Combine week? Just how crucial is the combine in the modern NFL?
So not so much the actual combine where we're watching the drills and all the players are showing up, all the invites are there running around, cone drills, 40-yard dash, ladder drills, whatever. Not so much in that sense, but this is where all the GMs in the NFL dying together. Where like they rub shoulders here at the combine. I don't know if you've seen. I think it was Hard Knocks. I think it was like off-season Hard Knocks too. It was like the first year of the not even pre-season. I think it was off-season Hard Knocks, and I think it had the Giants, and there were like 4 GMs talking to each other, and it was almost like a fantasy football negotiation, like a trade was happening. Like, oh, hey, I'll do that for a second. Oh, I'll do this if you know what I'm saying. And it was like just 4 general managers just talking casually about trading assets, and that's what the combine is good for. That's why it's a big deal in the NFL. Like, I believe Chris Greer, one of those big trades that we did happened with which one was it? It was the San Fran trade happened at the combine.
I will double check the exact deal of that. San Fran trade, Miami Dolphins.
That was the year we got Waddle.
So the 49ers traded up from 12th overall to the 3rd overall pick. The Dolphins received the 12th overall and a 3rd round pick, and then 1st round picks in 2022 and 2023. That's insane.
That happened at the combine.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal for things that can happen. Not so much of a big deal for what it's supposed to be a big deal for, like showing up, watching prospects. But for Touche's 24, it's a huge deal. Like, I get to see, all right, let's see. I get to see these people talk, see these people move, see them, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, maybe I say huge, maybe not so huge. But because you're playing in, like, your underwear, like, it is what it is. But at the same time, you get to see them and see if they're really what they, I guess, are they as advertised when it comes to the workout sense? Do they take it serious and stuff like that? And then you get some new prospects like, oh, who is this? Did I overlook this person? You feel me? So
like Kevin White.
Kevin White, the receiver?
Yeah, didn't he have an insane 40 at the combine, which shot him up the Chicago Bears draft, and then hence why he didn't really work out because
I don't. So here's my thing about when I was like people who I didn't have on my radar, like I could say, who is this? It wouldn't be because of a fast 40. Because I think you could practice and you could get coached up to run a fast 40. And like we've learned in recent days, general managers use Madden apparently. And not just the Jets. I don't know if you heard about this, Kadeem. It's not just the Jets that use Madden ratings in the NFL. It's like every GM in the NFL. Well, I can't say every GM, but GMs around the NFL use Madden ratings to help assess their players and the players around the league. It's crazy. So if you have these dudes that have been floating around the NFL for a while and they need every edge they can get, then yeah, I guess if you're enamored by the 40, then you pick the Kevin Whites of the world.
Shout out to IMAX says, "What's up, Kadeem, Charlie, and chat? Welcome, IMAX." And Michael says, "Lifelong Finn fan, just venting. I know they won't agree. Feel free to vent. It always helps with the episode. An extra thing to discuss." Yeah, I remember. I feel like Kevin White was seen among the top receivers in that draft, which was ironically Amari Cooper and Devontae Parker. But I feel like his I think he had a 4.35, and that was kind of like, yep. And it happens. I think there's quite a few people in the league, around the league, who kind of say the combine should kind of help with what you've seen so far on tape, but it should never make or break a prospect. If a player has a bad 40 or a bad 300 or whatever, it's not the end of the world. Because like you said, Charlie, there's players who will show out to make sure they do absolutely amazing at the combine. That's great, brilliant. As so many people call it, it's the underwear Olympics. It's more about the meetings and the medicals. And like you said, Charlie, as well, it's for GMs, it's just a great opportunity to actually be in and around other GMs, have conversations, which, Charlie, you and I do a podcast essentially via the internet. We speak on the phone, but there's nothing like being in person, hashing it out, having a conversation. And yeah, the NFL, like many other sports, use these massive get-togethers to really, I guess, power through some deals. So yeah, it's combine season. For you, is this where the draft truly begins?
Not necessarily. I think it started already. I think like I think it starts. All right, that's a hard question to navigate, because in real life, I think you have scouts that are supposed to start for them during the season, the college football season. But the GMs, they might not. If your team made the playoffs, you're not even thinking about prospects. You're still focused on what's going on in real life and for your football team that's in front of you. And then a week or two after the season ends, maybe 10 days after the season ends, that's when they turn to the draft. So for me, yeah, like it's the offseason now. Now it's time to look at, like, okay, let's see where the prospects go, like, and what prospects are doing. Some you said earlier about make or break and stuff like that. I don't think the combine can break someone who is a really good prospect, but I think it can make someone who was unknown, like, yo, who is this dude? And then the people who are unknown, I think you could set yourself back at the combine as well. And unfortunately, one of the examples I could give about a prospect, and I told you I have tiers, like players that I want on my team, players that I think are okay, they're cool, I wouldn't mind them on my team, and then players that I don't want on my team. Now that's the 3 tiers. That's it. And Noah Igbenogany was at the combine, and Deion Sanders was on the field just talking to players, whatever. Like, hey, you standing the wrong way. You standing the wrong way. Like, who taught you this? You supposed to be standing this way, stuff like that. And it was Noah Igbenogany, right? And I'm like, bro, you kind of learned what Deion was saying. You kind of learned that in Optimist football. And then the fact that we picked him up, I was so sour, bro. I like, come on. In the first round, too, he didn't even think he was going in the first round. The whole camp was surprised that he went in the first round. But this not to get at Noah, but you know what's funny? Speaking about the combine, Kadeem, this is where like I said, the GM's brush shoulders. I don't think Tyreek Hill is going to be a Miami Dolphin. I think we're trading him.
Really?
No doubt about it. I believe Tyreek Hill's last day in the Miami Dolphins jersey is finished. I think he's done. He had a cast on in a recent IG live post. That's not why he's done. I'm assuming he had surgery on the wrist that he said he injured, and that was hampering him all season. But I think you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube, Kadeem. I think when he spoke, even when he came out and said what he said, I thought, all right, when he came out and said, hey, I'm out, I'm done. That's one thing. But when he came and did this media tour for the Super Bowl, I thought that was one, damage control, and I didn't really buy it. I was like, I don't know. It didn't feel genuine. It felt like I have to do this because I put myself in a bad situation. I didn't wholeheartedly, okay, you know what? He just, he was in the moment and he said something. I don't believe that. And now as more time goes by, looking at the cap number, looking at the dead cap, I feel like he feels as a number one receiver, as a star in the league, as Tyreek Hill, get paid X amount of dollars. I know I could get my way out of any situation. So he thought, yo, I'm out. I don't care what I got to do. I'm gonna get out of here. But in reality, you might not be out, bro. Like you might not be able to move this year, but you might be able to move next year, right? And I think he shot himself in the foot. But as we all learned from the Buffalo Bills and Stephon Diggs, $31 million dead cap, they took that hit and then went to the AFC Championship. You feel me? So it is possible to get out of to move on from Tyreek Hill. It would be very, very difficult to move on from Tyreek Hill, but I still think he's done, bro. I think he's a done data with the Miami Dolphins. So you at the combine, you're gonna be in the suites, you're gonna be on the field, you're gonna be shoulders with GMs. This is where a conversation happens, and do not be shocked if someone else is wearing number 10 for the Miami Dolphins this season. And that's why I wanted my Messi jersey, my Miami Dolphins Messi number 10. I wasn't gonna get Tyreek Hill jersey.
It's funny. So Michael says, I love Reek, but he ain't the leader we thought he would be. He too childish. I can only speak for myself. I never thought the guy was a leader. Like again, Tyreek Hill was Tyreek Hill. The moment he signed for the Dolphins, you kind of knew what you were going to get from him. It's probably gone better than expected, but this isn't someone who came into Miami with a, paper fresh, clean record off the field. Like this whole, I thought we were going to be leaders. Like
paper fresh.
Dude, I couldn't think. Like you said off air you've had like the best sleep the past 2 days. I've been going to bed at like 9 o'clock. I've been getting like nearly 12 hours sleep. It is insane. But yeah, like to be surprised by Tyreek Hill's, I guess, behavior. It's like, hey, it's Tyreek Hill. To go back on what you said about what he done, basically Super Bowl week and what he was saying. Tyreek Hill was someone who had no issue jumping on a live video or a podcast or a stream playing video game to say what's on his mind. At any moment, he could have jumped on a live, jumped on a podcast, gone on how many different ESPNs or whatever and be like, yo, guys, I want to set the record straight now. I kind of feel like waiting for the Super Bowl kind of left it too long. Listen, he might kind of mean it, but yeah, it's one of those things where, like I said, the damage control to stay in Miami, but also, show other teams around the league, hey, I'm a team player. I was a bit angry, but I'm all good. Michael says, agree. I meant leader, as in grateful to get paid and retire in Miami. IMAX says he's not focused on football. Had 5 kids outside his marriage. Barely had more touchdowns than basically had more touchdowns than kids this year. And shout out to Chef Drew. He said What's good, Kadeem, Charlie, and everyone? How y'all tonight? Check your pulse and fins up. Welcome, Chef Stew, I should say. He adds subscribe, like, share, and donate. Help the channel grow. That is greatly appreciated. I have a question for you, Charlie. But anything else you want to add before I get to my question?
Beam me up.
So you're Chris Greer. You've got the Chris Greer hat on, the Chris Greer blazer, the Chris Greer lanyard, and you've got to the combine, and obviously part of your remit this week is to try and work out a deal for Tyreek Hill. What can we get for him? All the good stuff. Kind of see what his market is. Are there any players you're kind of looking at the combine? It's like, okay, I've seen tape on this guy. Actually, yeah, sorry. Did miss a comment from IMAX. He said there's a post from a Dolphins content creator today that said the Dolphins are now looking to trade Tyreek. Depends on who that content creator is. I'm not saying they're a liar, but it's content creators have a habit of just saying stuff, letting it go viral, and kind of going from there. So
hey, I appreciate them sourcing that it was a content creator as opposed to saying it was just something on the internet. You feel me?
100%. And also, before I finish my point, Michael says I've been subscribed or donate when got the extra dough. We've always kind of said, I will say this on my behalf. Donations are an absolute blessing, but don't ever feel like you have to donate. We have a Patreon. We've got extra content over there on Patreon. So if people prefer to donate on there and get extra content, great, brilliant. Patreon.com/GoTimeDolphin. But
Appreciate you.
Yeah, just want to show our appreciation to everyone here at Go Time Dolphins. But yeah, Charlie, you've had your conversations about Tyreek Hill, but the college prospect, is there anyone in particular you're looking at going, hey, I want to see how this guy performs? Or is it kind of more a case of, your eyes are open to anyone and you just want to be wowed by what you see at the combine?
So I'm gonna answer your question this way. If Tyreek Hill is traded before the draft or on the draft or before the draft, pre-June 1st, the ticket to get Tyreek Hill, if you're a Miami Dolphins general manager, is probably going to be higher than what the value is, which is a 2 and a 3 maybe. You're probably supposed to get, maybe a 2 and a 3. He's older, contract, this and that. You probably only get a 2 and a 3 for Tyreek. And then Sherrod Steve was on the podcast like, no, we're not going out about that. But because of the dead cap implications, Chris Greer's going to be like, hey, if we got to eat this cap and he moves before June 1st, you have to compensate us accordingly. Okay, I could understand that. So now that 2 and a 3 could potentially be a first. Now you're talking like, all right, well, we weren't going to move him because we don't want to eat this cap. However, if someone really wants him prior to the draft, then yeah, let us get this first and a third or something, first and a fourth, and who knows what you dial up. Even to answer your question this way as well, maybe you're still drafting receivers or looking at receivers because you're going to move Tyreek post June 1st, and you don't get capital or compensation for this draft, but you get compensation for the 2026 draft. Either way, you're still looking at receivers in this draft because if you're going to move them or not. So now you're already like, hey, Tyreek's out of here. We already know I have to look for receivers. Kadeem, I'm going to tell you like this. This is not going to be the first time you heard this. Well, maybe the first time, won't be the last. This draft, the Miami Dolphins, bro, have to be the luckiest franchise on the face of the planet. Not just in football, franchise in any sport. And this is why the Miami Dolphins happen to be the luckiest franchise. What do you think our biggest needs are, Kadeem, and for the Miami Dolphins right now?
Both the interior offensive line and I guess the interior defensive line, assuming you don't get Calais Campbell back.
Kadeem's paying attention. Like, you're not just you're not just a podcaster, you're a fan. Everyone knows our needs. Kadeem, you know how I said, I don't really pay attention to the draft and players who coming out. I think you asked me about a quarterback. I don't even know who that is right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, and this was back during the season, like September-ish or something like that. I'm like, oh, holla at me when the season's over, and then I can focus on the draft. Kadeem, I was watching. I had a couple of days off from work, like a few days off, and I was like, you know what? It's time. Let's put on a Touche's 24 hat and go to work. And it's by position. I go by position and try to, put myself in a category as opposed to bouncing all over and just looking at randoms. Kadeem, I started on O-line, bro, because that's where our needs are. I started at O-line, and when I tell you every prospect that I next one, I like them all. I'm like, no, Kadeem, listen. I'm like, wait a minute, whoa. Maybe I'm tripping because we have a need, and I just want to like all these guys, right? And then I'm like, well, maybe it's been a year since I've like really, scouted some players and watched the tape appropriately. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I lost a step, and I'm not the same Charlie Touche, and I'm just looking at stuff and just liking everything I see. I'm like, I need to take a step back because I watched like 12 prospects and I like 10 of them. I'm like, let me chill. So I bounced around, went to some other positions, and landed on D-line. I'm like, bro, it's loaded. So now I'm a couple days in. Now it's all bad too, Kadeem. This is the Touche that's probably gonna be single forever because he's watching tape of dudes that's none of this is gonna matter. You feel me? I'm watching not just hours, not just hours. Like, oh, I'm watching like 2-3 hours of film. I'm watching days of prospects. Like, dang, this dude is a dude. You feel me? Like, I'm watching all type of stuff.
Do you have like a little laser point pen as well to be like, yo?
Nah,
like,
this is my remote right here. This is
we need to get you like a laser point pen. One of them like long.
And there's no one in the room, so it's just me. So I can't be that. That's too much. But listen to this, Kadeem. The positions that are the deepest in the draft, and this is why I said the Dolphins are the luckiest franchise, not the luckiest football team, the luckiest franchise. The positions that are the deepest in the draft are Miami Dolphins needs. And not only are they deep, Kadeem, they are unprecedented. Is unprecedentedly a word? Unprecedentedly deep.
Unprecedented.
No, that's not how I want to use it, though. I want to say unprecedentedly. Like, it's a word now. Unprecedentedly deep. It's crazy deep. Kadeem is like, and so now I'm bouncing around, the internet a little bit. Like, hey, let me double check. Am I tripping? What's dude Jeremiah from NFL Network? Daniel Jeremiah. Am I tripping, Daniel Jeremiah? Am I seeing this right? Are all these prospects really solid like this? And now I'm getting the word. Listen. Oh, see, it's a word. Kadeem, it's a word. Shout out to Michael in the chat. Unprecedentedly.
That's all my alcohol. Apologies.
What we got?
Unprecedented is a word.
Hey, I knew. I felt like it was, bro. Unprecedentedly deep. He said unprecedented. Nah, man, I knew what I was looking for.
Yeah, that's the word as well. But
I knew what I was looking for, Kadeem. Listen, Kadeem. So now I'm like, let me double check what the league is saying, what other people are saying around the league, bro. This draft, you're gonna have about 30 D linemen, bro. 30 D linemen that could go in the first 3 rounds. Now, here's the criteria. If you a first rounder, should be a starter. You should be if you draft someone in the first round, they should be a starter. We go over this every year. If you draft someone in the second round, they should be a starter. If you draft someone in the third round, they're more of a developmental player, but leaning more towards starter. And anything after the third round, you're just lucky to hit if you hit something back there. Bro, you're going to have 30 D linemen that are going to have first 3 round grades. 30. That's just D-line. Same thing with O-line, Kadeem. So that's 60 players. 60, bro. There's only 32 teams in the NFL. So you got 60 players, O-line and D-line total, that have first round, second round, or third round grades. This means you're gonna be picking in the third round, Kadeem, and you're gonna find second round talent in the third round if you're the Miami Dolphins. You're gonna pick in the fourth round, Kadeem, and find second or third round talent in the fourth round on the O-line or D-line if you're the Miami Dolphins. Last but not least, you probably trickle into the fifth round and find like third round talent in the fifth round on the O-line or D-line. And I did not even mention how running back is deep as well. We don't need running back. We need some depth at running back, which is cool. So if you wanted to take somebody in the seventh round or seventh round running back, it's going to be there. He's going to be there. That's why the Dolphins are so lucky, bro, because this is the deepest draft probably ever when it comes to O-line and D-line combined. So you're going to have starters. You're going to be able to find 3-4 starters in the first 3 rounds if you're the Miami Dolphins. To answer your question now about receiver, I don't like none of these receivers, Kadeem.
Really?
Like, listen, I don't. Let me say this: I don't love none of these receivers. I don't love none of them, bro. There is one receiver so far. It's still early. There is one receiver that I like. His name is Xavier Williams from TCU. He's 6'5", 225. Dog is a dude. I don't know where he's going to go yet, but he's going to be on Touche's 24. And 6'5", 225 sounds really good to me. And it looks really good on tape. So Xavier Williams is someone I want to look out for. And that's just a piece you want to add with or without Tyreek Hill. You know what I'm saying? So you move on from Tyreek Hill, you have a big X receiver and Xavier Williams. You have Waddle on the other side. Now you talk about bringing in someone like a Debo. You know what I'm saying? You have a rookie receiver. Matter of fact, Xavier Williams is the mold and makeup of a Brian Thomas Jr. Dolphins were in on Brian Thomas Jr. last year. They went Chop Robinson instead of Brian Thomas Jr. And now this year, you end up with something like Xavier Williams, and you bring in an extra piece. Now all of a sudden, like, well, are we really missing Tyreek Hill? Since everyone said, oh, the NFL caught up with us. They're playing us different. All right, well, cool. We don't need Tyreek Hill no more then. Right? So, yeah, man, I'm okay with it. Xavier Williams is the only receiver that I like so far. I'll give you another name at receiver, which is Alec Ayomanor. He's from Stanford. Dude didn't have no quarterback. Still got off. That's something to look at. He's 6'2", 210. I'm not sure about him. I ain't gonna lie. He's not on Touche's 24. I'm not sure about him. I'm really not sure about him, but I do like Xavier Williams. He's the only receiver that I like in this draft. And this is not that deep of a draft for a receiver. So the luck runs out there for the Dolphins.
So shout out to a few comments. I won't read all of them, but I'll try and get to what I can. Michael says, size on offense, size on defense, height on both, stronger, meaner men, not lackluster trainees with Hall of Fame potential. What I will say about that is we had an episode with Sherrod Steve last week, and we kind of discussed about why not just coaches, but players come to Miami, do not work out, and then go elsewhere. For whatever reason, that needs to be addressed ASAP. You can get all the height, and there are so many offensive linemen in the past 2 to 3 years alone who have come to Miami. The Dolphins have let go, and then they've been playing in AFC, NFC championship games, Super Bowls, and stuff like that. So there is that. IMAX says Dolphins media account on IG. I am not an IG person. I think with a lot of those stuff, it depends on where they get it from. I have seen a few reports about Tyreek Hill being up for trade. But until you kind of hear it from a rap sheet or a Adam Schefter, then I will take everything with a pinch of salt, unless you hear it here.
I don't trust rap sheet. Dog been wrong too many times with some erroneous reports. So I only trust Adam Schefter.
As a journalist, I will say you kind of only you're only as good as your sources. And if someone wants to put something out there, you kind of have to go with it. But that's just me.
You don't remember when Stephon Diggs went somewhere before he went to Buffalo? It was reported by Rap Sheet, and he went to like Pittsburgh or something. And then it was like, and then Diggs had to come out on Twitter said, "This isn't true." That was one of the things I remember about Rap Sheet. He had a couple. He has like 3 of them that I can remember off top. But
as a journalist, I genuinely have been in situations where I've reported on something. The person's come out and gone, "That's not true," and it's like, dude, I'm like, I saw you there. Don't try that. So again, I'm always saying Rap Sheet is right or wrong in situations, but I'm also saying players can lie. Like, hey,
I get it, but you can't lie about he's going to Pittsburgh and then he's not in Pittsburgh and he goes to Buffalo.
100%, 100% you can lie about that. No, sorry, 100%.
Yeah, okay, that means that means I can't trust it then.
No, you can get that right, but also get that wrong.
Let's see if we can find
because again, Charlie, I'm sure you've heard situations where in the music industry, so and so's about to sign for this agency, and then last minute it's like, that changed. Like, I know for a fact players will be on a plane to somewhere and then mid-air, nope, turn that around, we're going elsewhere.
Right. So it's better to be right and not first. Like, everyone's concerned about being first and not right. And then now Rappaport has like 3 blemishes on his record. Well, I'm like, I can't trust you no more. How come Schefter don't have no blemishes?
I can guarantee Chefs had blemishes.
I'm not as huge though, not as egregious. That's what I'm saying.
But a blemish is a blemish.
Is it? Because a huge blemish and a smaller blemish is like a different size blemish.
No, it's a different side, but a blemish is a blemish. You get something, again, it depends on the person. Again, I always come from the journalist point of view, which is, sometimes it's annoying when you have a story right and then you put out the information and then the team or the player goes back and it's like, well, it is what it is. But again, I don't stand for Rap Sheet, I don't stand for Schefter. I just have sympathy for journalists who seemingly can't make a mistake because all of a sudden their entire reputation goes out the window. But yes, are they reputable? They're as reputable as most people are, which is probably not really. And then Michael said, "Great is always too comfy. We have players that never play getting paid year after year." I feel like that's the same with most franchises. We are kind of Chris Greer defenders over here. And stuff like that, I would always say, well, what kind of examples? And again, it's for every player, like Bradley Chubb who missed the entire season or X, Y, and Z, you can go to, countless teams and players get injured all the time. You mentioned it's a deep class at both offensive and defensive line. And there's a few names who, if you're a Dolphins fan in round 1, you're probably going to hear mocked quite a bit. So guys like Tyler Booker from Alabama, the guard. For many, he's like the best interior offensive lineman this year. Mason Graham, the defensive tackle from Michigan. Again, for many, he's the best defensive tackle or interior defensive lineman in the draft this year. Kenneth Grant, again, another one on the defensive line. Gray Zabel, who a lot of Dolphins fans really want, kind of like a second round guy, but someone who will probably start when he is drafted. Again, you have your Chris Greer hat on. With your Charlie Touche hat on, when we do mock drafts, we tend to trade back quite a bit and go, hey, we're going to trade back X, Y, and Z. Given the Dolphins' need this year and where the strength of the draft class lies, are you more inclined to just pick at 13, knowing you've probably got a first rounder, a second rounder, 2 third rounders, probably 2 fourth rounders?
Hold on. What do you mean? Probably like 2/3? What's going on here?
Comp picks.
I thought we only have 1 third round.
Yeah, so you got the third rounder we've got because it's our pick, and then the third rounder with the comp pick. So you probably got 2 first rounders, so 2 third rounders, and I think the Wilkins pick will be like a 4th or 5th rounder, and that's not including anything you get from like a Tyreek Hill trade or whatever and stuff like that. So, are you less inclined to trade back this year? And if you do stay at 13, are you comfortable passing on like a Tyler Booker or a Mason Graham, knowing you can get solid starters in the second and third round at both positions.
So the boom bust rate in the NFL draft for O-line is so safe. Drafting O-line in the first 15 picks of the draft. It's the safest pick you can go. First 15 picks of the draft is O-line. It's the biggest boom rate there is, statistically, analytics show. I think wide receiver is like the worst. All right, just for comparison. Guard, however, you shouldn't, but guard, you should be able to find guards anywhere and surround them around by a good center, good tackle, put them in the middle. To draft a guard at 13 would be not a good idea. It's just not a good idea. Unless you like, oh, you know what? We absolutely need this guard. Solid piece. We're close. It's even worse of an idea in this draft when there's 30 guards. Probably like 16 guards that could go in the first 3 rounds. So to take one at 13, I can't do it, bro. I cannot co-sign taking a guard with the 13th pick in the draft. That being said, I'm trying to trade back. If you trade from 13 and end up at like in the 20s somewhere, you're going to get a second round pick at minimum. You're going to get a second round pick and probably a 5th, 4th. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? But second round pick at minimum if you move back. So now, with everything I've said in the first 40 minutes of this podcast, if you move back in the draft, essentially you're going to get another starting player on your team. That's it. Like this is simple math. Move back and you add another starting player, especially on the line. So I'm moving back. I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. There's a world, and no one's gonna like this for this one. Now, yeah, y'all might have plug your ears if you're a real Dolphin fan and want the O-line fix. There's a world, Kadeem, where you don't even go O-line or D-line in the first round. That's how deep the O-line and D-line is in this draft class. So now you go to another need like corner. If Will Johnson falls to you, I'm dead serious, bro. If Will Johnson falls to you at 13, bro, the internet will break. Dolphins internet will break. And Chris Gray's going to go corner at 13. And the whole internet was just going to like, this is it. I'm done. And a lot of people going to quit. But then
100%.
You could go O-line the next 3 picks, 2, 2, and 3, or 2, 3, and 3, and then you still fix your O-line. I'm telling you, bro. LB, I said LB, but Kadeem, you know, I'm the O-line person, bro. Get my dog an O-line. You know it.
We do it every single year. Every single year,
bro. If Chris Greer does not pick O-line in the first round, I'm okay. And I know everyone's not gonna like it, but I'm still okay. Because you could go O-line for every pick afterwards. But yeah, I'm not going guard. You said Gray Zabel. Listen, if there's a
no, I never said Gray Zabel in the first round. Like never.
No. You might want to go Gray Zabel. If you end up in the 20s, like round 25-ish, yeah, I have no problem taking Gray Zabel in the first round. Absolutely zero problem taking Gray Zabel in the first round. Nope. Take him in the first round if you're in the 20s. I'm cool. Straight up. If he's your guy, he's your guy. Like, you have to do it. And I'm cool with that. Although there's still other players around, like, but there's only one Gray Zabel.
Yeah. It's so Michael says Greer will draft someone with an injury history. I think this is something which is way blown over proportion, like blown out of proportion. Yeah, like yes, there's been a few. People make it seem like every single pick has some of an injury history. It's like it's not that deep. But Michael says agree, no corners. OMG, Charlie, that live Miami Dolphins draft watch party over here is going to be hilarious if Chris Greer drafts a corner.
Hey, I'm putting $500 down this year. Take my money.
But what's interesting, and Michael, thanks for all the comments because it helps. It sparks conversation. Michael says, since we suck already, my drafts would make sure every pick was a starter. Big country full of good players. Charlie, somewhat of a very rhetorical question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Name me a team in the NFL who, when they draft a player in any round, they're not drafting for that person to one day start for the team.
No, they know what time it is. They try to. Everybody tries to draft starters. They try.
Like, I don't understand this whole and again, there's no offense to Michael, but it's like, I would try and draft starters. Well, yeah, that's what everyone's doing. Even in the 7th round, if you can get, a Brock Purdy or someone in the 7th round who can start for you, that is an amazing draft. Like, the Dolphins have a great record of drafting new DFAs who end up starting and are good starters. Like,
Listen,
I don't understand this.
Look, I ain't gonna lie. That's something else that's it's not popular. What's dude's name? Josh Simmons, I think his name is. Let me hold up. Let me double check.
Yeah, the tackle from Ohio State.
Josh Simmons. Hold on. Just want to double check though before we start saying the wrong name. Yeah, it is Josh Simmons. Bro, Josh Simmons was supposed to be the first tackle off the board. He was supposed to be a top 5 pick. Top 5 pick, left tackle, best tackle in the draft. Top 5. Matter of fact, not just a top 5 pick, probably top 3 because the quarterbacks are going to get bumped up. He tears his knee up in the playoffs of college football. This is like November. So now he's going to fall. And I know Mike in the comments just said, I bet Chris Greer drafts a injured player, an injury-prone player. Like, yo, if you trade back and get a 2nd round pick and you end up in the 20s and Josh Simmons is right there for the taking, the best tackle in the draft, but hurt his knee 5 months ago, do you not take him, bro? Like, I don't. This is not a question for you, Kadeem. It's not really a question for Mike. This is just like, yo, what do you do? This dude is the best tackle in the draft. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't get paid to make those decisions. I wish I was. I wish I did get paid to make those decisions though, because this is too easy. This is easy money. Kadeem, this draft, I'm gonna have the best 2 shades 24 ever. This draft, it's too easy. Like, it's too easy, Kadeem. Like, it's gonna be full of D linemen and O linemen, and I'm gonna just go back to, hey, go look at 2 shades 24 2025. I hit on every one. Like, it's that easy, Kadeem. It's crazy. So I don't know, man.
Michael says we need guard, not tackles. Nah, the Dolphins need tackles as well.
Yeah, we need a whole line, home. We need
a
whole line.
I don't know. Like, the Dolphins again. Friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, love him. He's going to get hurt next year. Like,
hold on. I wouldn't put that on nobody, Ricky Bobby. But Austin Jackson can play guard, and we have what's his name? Patrick Paul. Who said Patrick Paul is a starting tackle? You know what I'm saying? So we only have Patrick Paul and Austin Jackson at tackle right now. Terron Armstead, like, you really got Terron Armstead as a starting tackle right now? Like, I don't think no one trusts Terron Armstead to play 10 games next year. That's 10. I said 10. You know what I'm saying? So Dolphins need tackles and guard. We need everything. And Brewer is a dope center, but we need depth. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, the Dolphins are so lucky. You could walk, bro. We better walk away with 4 O-linemen in this draft, bro. O-line. I didn't say D-line. O-line. We better find all types of ways to manufacture some picks and get like 4 O-linemen in this draft.
And that's assuming you don't pick up. I think like the Dolphins are going to pick up guys in free agency as well. As long as what's he going to say?
I'm not taking no O-line in free agency.
I
trust my picks, bro. The draft 30 O-linemen in the first 3 rounds, bro. If you blow this, you don't deserve a job. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, if you blow this, hold on. If you blow it, you don't deserve a job.
You're not taking no offensive lineman in free agency.
I'm not taking no offensive lineman in free agency. I said
you're going to get yourself fired because hear me out. Because what will happen is, yes, there's 30 offensive linemen, 16 guards, yeah.
Yeah.
But when you're on the board and you're back, or like you're 2-3 picks away, I've got my guy. someone going to jump ahead of you. I'm drafting someone, and there's only so many times someone's going to fall to you.
Oh,
Charlie.
that's you don't know, baby D. You don't know, bro.
No,
listen,
no.
That's how deep the draft is, Kadeem. That is how
Baby D.
This is not the Pittsburgh Steelers of last year where they took every O lineman I wanted. This is not that. This is not that. This is imagine a lineman that's supposed to go in the second round is waiting for you in the middle of the third round. Like that's how deep they are, bro. It's so many of them. Like, listen, no, I'm gonna clear this up. It's not just the Dolphins. Every team in the NFL is going to get better this year with their O-line. That's how deep the draft is with O-line. Every team in the NFL is going to improve their O-line this year. Every single one. Every single one.
Let's see how we might need an offensive line ranking episode, like to kind of see where this all falls out.
All right.
And then Michael also said, I don't know who said he's not good. Jackson is certain was when he was drafted. We have all for O-line for years. Didn't Jackson donate bone marrow to his sister coming out of college?
Yeah, that and he had a pretty good first year too.
Yeah, like that we can debate how good or how bad the Dolphins' offensive line is. Injury history, yes, Jackson has been hurt for quite a few of these years, but again, there's guys who the Dolphins have drafted who were, completely injury free in college. Get to NFL and start picking up injuries. That is the nature of the beast. Charlie, do you have anything else before we head into bonus time?
Every team's going to improve their O-line this year. I'm not just saying it, Kadeem. It's that many O-linemen, bro. You get an O-lineman. You get an O-lineman. This is Oprah. This is everyone's getting the O-lineman, bro. We need to just walk out with 4 of them, though. That's my thing.
We shall see how that pans out.
Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's showtime. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's showtime. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
As we draw to a close shortly, if you haven't already, once this video ends, go and check out our recent interviews with several draft prospects. Shout out to Darius Maxwell, Josh Addo, Thomas Gordon, and KP3, the GOAT, Kendall Poole. Amazing interviews, amazing guys, amazing prospects. So definitely go and check that out if you haven't already.
Shout out to Katie Kohu for retweeting us. Shout out to Katie. We appreciate that. Slide on the podcast. Let's chop it up.
100%. So you mentioned not being enamored by the wide receivers. It wasn't Daniel. No, I think it was Daniel Jeremiah. He said this is a deep tight end class, like 5 to 6 starters who you're going to get again, multiple in multiple rounds. Tyler Warren is someone who's been mocked to the Dolphins at 13. There's a few Miami fans on social media who like Elijah. Is it Arroyo from Miami? Apologies for pronouncing that wrong.
I think it's Arroyo.
Yeah, Arroyo. Thank you for that. Would you go? We had the conversation about Brock Bowers last year. Would you go tight end in Tyler Warren at 13, or is it something which you can go later on in the draft? And if you're going offensive line, defensive line, and potentially tight end, day 2, day 3, what are you looking at from the combine in terms of day 1 positions, I guess?
So, yeah, I don't mind going Tyler Warren at 13. And there's a chance he could be there at 20, if I'm being real with you. And there's another, what's his name? Loveland? Bro. It's some dope tight ends in this draft too. Bro, Kadeem, you're not gonna miss. You're not gonna miss, bro. You're not gonna miss an O-line this year. You're not missing an O-line this year.
The Dolphins will find a way. Like,
we're not gonna miss on O-line this year, bro. We're not gonna do it. And if we do, I'll be the first one. You know, I was the conductor. I am the conductor of the Chris Greer train, bro. This train would be derailed if we blow it on O-line this year, bro. But nah, this is what I'm saying. If you choose to stay at 13 and your favorite tackle isn't on the board, do not go guard at 13. There's too many guards in this draft that you can start on day one. Don't take one at 13. You could go Tyler Warren. You could go Will Johnson. You can go James Pierce. He's a DN. I was looking at DN Kadeem. This is a true story. I was watching the DM film, and there's a DN from LSU. He don't have no tricks. He don't have no tricks. No dip and rip, no spin move, no trick. He's just bigger and faster than everybody. Not bigger, faster, stronger. He's just bigger and faster. He just runs around everybody and gets to the quarterback, right? So he's on LSU, though. James Pierce is on Tennessee. James Pierce is bigger, faster, stronger. Like, nah, bro. This is not fair. This is not fair. Matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up some stats real quick. And
we're
then
talking like Miles Garrett, bigger, faster, stronger. It's like, you're a grown man with a mortgage and 4 kids. Don't try and tell me you're coming out of college. Like, this is insane.
How about this for a stat? Shout out to Todd McShay for this one. Chop Robinson. Everyone knows who Chop Robinson is. Chop Robinson had a pass rush win rate of 20.1% last year coming out in the draft. Like 20.1. Where did Chop Robinson get selected, Kadeem? First round?
First round, yeah.
Yeah, like 20 something, right? Like 20.
I want to say pick 21.
All right. Doesn't
matter.
It was in the 20s. Pass rush win rate last year, right? 20.1. You know how many players coming out in this draft have a pass rush win rate higher than that?
When you go 3?
10. 10 of them, Kadeem. Bro, when I tell you O-line and D-line this draft, bro, you know what this is going to be like, Kadeem? This is going to be like going to the store trying to buy some shoes. Like, I wanted a pair of shoes, but then you turn out the shoes that you wanted that come in like 20 different colors are on clearance. And they're really like and you thought you were going to pay like $100 for them, you can get them for the 40. So now you're going to walk out with like 4 pairs of shoes that you didn't plan on buying. You feel me? This is what this draft is like for D-line and O-line. So shout out to Todd McShay. I just told you what Chop Robinson's pass rush win rate was last season. Coming out in the draft, 20.1. Josiah Stewart, pass rush win rate, 27.4. Q Robinson, 24.1. Abdul Carter, he's going to go top 3, 23.0. Elijah Roberts, 22.5. James Pierce, my dog, 22.4. And then it just goes. Bro, listen. If you need a D lineman, you need an O lineman, holla at your boy. I know where to get him.
Putting you on the spot there, or here, I should say. When we can start doing mock drafts, because it sounds like our mock drafts are going to be insane. Insane.
It's not gonna be. I was already mocking it up. It's not gonna be realistic because I'm like, I can't do this because no one's gonna do this in real life. You feel me? Like, I would do it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, since the GMs play Madden anyway, and everyone was trying to tell us, this is not a video game. Apparently it is, because y'all be checking out Madden for y'all stuff. You feel me? So nah, bro, I could do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anyone to say, you can't do my job. I bet you I can. You know what I'm saying? So nah, bro. Yeah, we're gonna mock, but I don't like mocking before free agency. I think it's pointless because now you have to mock and say, well, it depends on what we do in free agency, and I would do this in free agency. Like, you could just wait to mock until you get those holes filled. And speaking of mocking and free agency, shout out to whoever Charlie Touche is. He has a Touche's 24. Bro, these boys, the Dolphins have a chance to land Jeremy Chin, my bad, Asante Samuel Jr., and Paulson Adebo, all for the low. Like, bruh, the Saints did not re-sign Paulson Adebo because they drafted his replacement because they can't afford him. They're $60 million over the cap. Shout out to Sean Payton for getting out of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, this was some John Calipari stuff. Like, I made this happen and I'm getting out of it, right? That's crazy how you do that. But shout out to Sean Payton for that one. So Paulson Adebo is a dope free agent that could be a Miami Dolphin because we have a need at corner. He's not going to break the bank, but he's solid. Asante Samuel Jr. is another free agent. He got hurt last year, but everyone knows who. Well, maybe everyone on this podcast should know who Asante Samuel Jr. is. One of my favorite corners in the league. But because he's coming off an injury and it's a contract year, he's available for us. I would love to have him on the inside. I don't love him on the outside. I love him on the inside. So now you have Paulson Adebo, Asante Samuel Jr., and then you got Jeremy Chin. Jeremy Chin was a candidate for Rookie of the Year. Didn't kind of decline a little bit after that first year, but still a solid addition. So I don't know how I got on corner, but yeah, man. Listen, so free agents. So it depends on what you're doing in free agency. Like, what are we gonna do? I have no idea what we're doing in free agency. So I don't like to mock and say, oh, well, this is if the Dolphins do this, then we'll do this in the draft. That's too much. I think we could wait a couple weeks and then we'll have tons of mocks. We'll have mocks with trades, mocks without trades. Debo might be a thing. Debo Samuel might be available. I heard DK Metcalf one out. How about we just trade Tyreek and DK and make that happen? I like that. Not 1-for-1, but I still like it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. There's definitely, again, like you said, it's combine season, so guys are always like, hey, I might move X, Y, and Z. But it does feel like there could be some interesting pieces moving this offseason, and definitely going to be an exciting time. Anything else to add before we get out of here? Then, as always,
no. 4 O linemen. Minimum one tackle. We need minimum one tackle and the rest interior O line. You get a center, you get 2 guards and a tackle. Charlie Touche would be happy. I'll be that South Park meme. You already know what meme I'm talking about.
Let's get out of here before we get ourselves banged on YouTube. Guys, until the next time, we shall see you soon. Peace.